Have you ever wondered what really happened behind the cameras during one of Coronation Street's darkest and most disturbing storylines? Because what actress Beth Nixon has just revealed changes the way many fans will look at Megan Walsh forever. For months, viewers watched Megan manipulate, deceive and groom teenager Will Driscoll in one of the soap's most emotionally devastating stories in years. But behind every unsettling scene, behind every chilling conversation, behind every moment that left viewers horrified, there was an entirely different story unfolding away from the cameras. And once you hear how these scenes were actually filmed, you may never watch them in quite the same way again. Welcome back to Coronation Street Update. If you love dramatic Corrie breakdowns, exclusive behind-the-scenes stories and all the biggest spoilers from Weatherfield, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications because we're following every twist as it happens. Now let's uncover the hidden reality behind Megan Walsh's storyline. When Megan Walsh first arrived, few viewers expected her story to become one of Coronation Street's most controversial plots in recent memory. What began as an ordinary relationship soon evolved into something manipulative, disturbing and psychologically devastating. The emotional damage wasn't limited to Will. Daniel Osborne's life completely unraveled. Families were torn apart. Trust disappeared. Entire friendships collapsed. Every revelation seemed darker than the last. But then everything changes. Following Megan's dramatic conviction and exit from Weatherfield, actress Beth Nixon has finally opened up about what filming those scenes was really like. And her comments reveal just how carefully every single moment had to be planned. Beth described the storyline as icky, a powerful word that perfectly captures how uncomfortable the material was to portray. Despite playing a manipulative predator on screen, she explained that filming never lost sight of the responsibility involved. One of the biggest challenges? Creating a believable relationship without using the physical intimacy audiences normally expect in romantic scenes. That may sound simple. It wasn't. Because Will's actor Lucas Hodgson-Wale was only 17 when filming began. The production team therefore approached every scene with extraordinary care. Every movement, every glance, every emotional beat had to be reconsidered. What happens next is fascinating. Beth explained that whenever a script naturally called for a kiss, the cast and crew had to invent completely different ways to communicate emotional manipulation. Instead of physical intimacy, there were lingering looks, carefully staged hugs, subtle body language, uncomfortable silences, calculated emotional closeness. Ironically, removing the physical contact may have made Megan even more manipulative. Because real grooming isn't always obvious. It often depends on emotional control, psychological dependence, trust, isolation, and that subtle realism made Megan feel frighteningly believable. But that may not be the whole truth. Beth admitted that finding believable alternatives became one of the hardest acting challenges she has ever faced. Normally, actors rely on familiar emotional instincts during relationship scenes. Here those instincts couldn't be used. Everything had to be reimagined. Every interaction became carefully choreographed. Every expression carried extra weight. Every scene had to feel authentic without crossing important boundaries. That delicate balance wasn't just about storytelling. It was about responsibility. Behind the scenes, one priority stood above everything else: safety. Beth revealed that making sure Lucas felt completely comfortable throughout filming was always the production's #1 concern. Her own comfort mattered too. The production wasn't trying to shock people through sensationalism. Instead, it focused on telling an incredibly difficult story while protecting everyone involved. That decision says a great deal about how seriously Coronation Street approached such sensitive material. And perhaps that's why the storyline resonated so strongly with audiences. It wasn't exploiting the subject. It was exposing it. Psychologically, Megan remains one of Corrie's most disturbing recent villains. She didn't rely on violence. She relied on manipulation, control, deception. She carefully shaped the world around Will until he struggled to recognize what was real. That emotional abuse spread far beyond one victim. Daniel's reputation was destroyed. Families questioned each other. Students whispered rumors. Communities divided. One person's manipulation created chaos across Weatherfield. That's what made Megan so terrifying. She weaponized trust. And then came justice. After a dramatic courtroom showdown, Megan was finally found guilty. But according to Beth, this ending had never been a surprise to those making the show. She confirmed that everyone always knew Meghan would eventually face the consequences of her actions. Her downfall wasn't an accident. It was the destination from the very beginning. That knowledge may have helped shape every performance leading towards the final trial. Every manipulation, every lie, every shocking revelation, all building toward the inevitable collapse. Yet even with Meghan gone, the emotional scars remain. Will is still trying to rebuild his confidence. Daniel continues battling the devastating consequences of betrayal. Hope has become one of Will's biggest supporters. The ripple effects continue spreading through Weatherfield. Because trauma doesn't disappear overnight. And that's one of the most realistic aspects of this entire storyline. Looking ahead, this story may continue influencing Corrie for months. Will ever fully trust another relationship again? Can Daniel recover from everything Meghan put him through? Has Hope's growing maturity permanently changed her future? Or are there still emotional wounds waiting to reopen? Coronation Street rarely lets consequences disappear quietly. And something tells us this chapter isn't completely over yet. Before we finish, we want to hear your thoughts. Did learning how these scenes were filmed change your opinion of Meghan's storyline? Do you think Coronation Street handled such a sensitive subject responsibly? Which moment during Meghan's storyline shocked you the most? And which character do you think will take the longest to recover emotionally? Share your theories down below because we read every single comment and love seeing your predictions. If you enjoyed today's behind-the-scenes deep dive, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Coronation Street Update, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest spoilers, breaking news, exclusive interviews and dramatic Weatherfield theories. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next Coronation Street Update.